When it comes to showing appreciation to our veterans, there shouldn't be an expiration date. And today, we're going to be announcing a correction to help protect the Cold War veterans from legislation that previously had a sunset provision that would limit their savings. In 2008, the state passed legislation giving an exemption to Cold War benefits for property taxes. Over 1,500 of these veterans who live in the town of Hempstead have been taking advantage of it. But there's one problem with it. There was a sunset provision. That would limit the benefit for a 10-year period. Well, recently the state enacted legislation allowing municipalities to extend that. Well, I've crafted legislation and I've spoken with my colleagues in government. I'm proud to announce that my colleagues Dennis Dunn and Erin King Sweeney will be sponsoring legislation that will make that exemption for the Cold War veterans permanent. This exemption goes for the general taxes, and it can be up to almost 15%, so it's no significant amount. This is a real amount, and I'm delighted that partisan politics is put aside and everybody on the town board will put this forward. They will be a calendar event on the next calendar, putting it up for a hearing, and there will be a hearing the first town board meeting in March.
We in the town of Hempstead love and appreciate our veterans and have gladly extended this exemption. We're delighted that we now have the opportunity to extend this exemption on a permanent basis. I thank the Receiver of Taxes, Don Clavin, and my colleagues on the town board for bringing this light to issue, and I look forward to working with my town board members to quickly approve this measure.
So, you know, the veterans here in Levittown is a town built by veterans for veterans, and we are concerned about. We have a tremendous respect for the men and women that serve our country. In the prime of their lives, when they're 17, 18, 19 years old, they raised their right hand. And because they did that, they took that extra step. They were prepared to die for this country. And we're going to make sure that they get the benefits that are coming to them.
They need this. My husband was a vet. I've had relatives who lost their lives in the wars. So those who are here, who are always asking for a little bit, they're getting 15%. I think that's wonderful.
It's a real example of bipartisanship in the town of Hempstead where we really can do cool stuff together. This is a good opportunity for us to come together and stand for the veterans. I'm proud to do it.
As a grandson of a World War II veteran who is still with us, and my father, a Vietnam veteran, it's always so important as not only elected officials, but as residents and as human beings to make sure that we look for the best interest of our veterans.
It is my understanding that the Cold War Veterans Exemption that the town of Hempstead participates has a 10-year limitation and then expires. This exemption offers a 10% or 15% reduction in a property's assessed value and is a big help to me and many other qualified veterans living in one of the highest taxed states.
It's the right thing to do. It's the proper thing to do. And you know what? As you can see, we all agree, both Republicans and Democrats, in thanking the men and women who serve this country, in putting forth this legislation and making sure this is a permanent exemption they will enjoy for the remainder of their time being living in the town of Hempstead.